Connecting, and that should be it. We should be looking at my screen right now. New setup, guys. This might take me a minute just to work out what everything's doing. Shout out to the homie Rory who set me up today. New computer, new screen. Now I just have to shape him a surfboard in return for it. So I'll get on that tomorrow. It's all very big. Oh, it's on. Third Earth. How are you, mate? How you doing? I'm very late with this. I was meant to do it Sunday night, and then I didn't get around to it. Then I was going to do it Monday, and I didn't get around to that either. And then Tuesday, I didn't get around to it. And now, what are we? Thursday. Technically, we're actually Friday because it is beyond 12. It's 12:40 in the morning right now. So yeah, we're on Friday. But that's alright, we're going to fly through these comments and questions. This fella, Hotwire, has been binge watching my videos the last 2 or 3 days, so he's got quite a few comments to answer. But we can start off real easy from Reese Brown, who says, fucking mint, bro. Cheers. Let me know if the audio and everything's alright. Third Earth. It's a new setup, so hopefully it's better. It should be substantially better. So thanks, Reese. Thank you. Let me know too if this keyboard is too noisy, because it's also a new keyboard. It's going to take me a minute too to get used to the camera being there, but my screen being over there. So that's going to take a minute. On to the real stuff. Super clean, all good. Good to hear, man. Good to hear. Oh, actually, one thing I will do, I might not be able to. Sorry, guys. Bear with me a sec. To get started, click start stream. I've already done that. What I want to do, I'm on a PC as well, and I'm normally on a Mac. Oh, here we go. I found it. So things are a bit different, a little bit different. That's not what I wanted to do. All right, it ain't that one. Sorry, bear with me a sec. Scene sources, audio mix, scene transition, controls, YouTube live, control panel. This could be it. That's not it. Live chat, top chat. I'm just trying to work out how to see how many people are actually watching. Scene transitions, controls, sources, scenes, stats. No, I already did that, and that wasn't it. Don't show that again. I might not be able to do this. This might be too hard. So what I'm going to do instead is I will just go to the live stream from my phone and watch it myself, and then I'll be a viewer, but I'll be able to see how many people are there. Bear with me 1 second, and then we'll get on to Electrofish's comment. There I am. Turn that volume down. There we go. Alright, now I can see. I'll work that out later. So, Electrofish. Talking about customers not paying on time and it being a pain in the ass, all that. So here I have actually read this comment. A good incentive to get people to pay is basically offer a 5% discount if paid within 7 days. Add 5% to the actual cost so you're not losing out. If they do pay early, pardon me, this is a win-win. As if you don't get paid on time, then you get paid more. I guarantee, though, 99% will pay on time. I notice Surf Hardware FCS do this with my hardware orders, and it always makes me pay on time. That's a good suggestion, and I have thought of that before, and I might actually start implementing that Not a silly suggestion at all. Keeps the customers happy too because they think they're getting a discount when in reality they're just paying the same as they normally would. Implementing? Imply or imply? Implementing. Ah, beautiful job. Thank you. That's an easy one to answer as well. Thank you. Cheers. Next one, the Mirka system is unreal, and that's what you pay for. So that was a clip from the last live stream, basically showing my sander and vacuum setup and why I don't wear a mask when I sand. Because, as Mel Brock says, the Mirka system is unreal, and that's why it costs so much money. He is right. DMAC, can you do a video on sandpaper care, unclogging, how long paper should last you, etc.? I could, but it would probably be a pretty short video. G'day, Sam. How are you? Welcome. Good. Very good. We are very good. It's been a good day, actually. Had a good swim with the dog. Got a bunch of jobs out, which is nice. All the surf skis in my shed at home are finished, so that's good. Sold a surfboard out of Shapers Collective. Not one of my ones, but a Primal surfboard, which is a shaper from Auckland. And also got an epic box of skimboards arrive at the house when I got home. But not like crappy pieces of plywood, like high-end skimboards designed for skimming out to sea and then doing big frontside slashes into barrels on the shore break. I've never seen them before, like those high-end skimboards. They're very, very cool. They're made by a company called OXS, a guy named Sam in the Bay of Islands, which is only a couple of hours north of here. And yeah, they're cool. So he sent 3, so they'll go in Shapers Collective tomorrow. Got to do a video to announce that they're there, and yeah, stoked to have them in. So all up, a good day. Also got a new order of expanding foam. So exciting times. Can you do a video on sandpaper care? It would be a really short video because I don't care for my sandpaper in the slightest. I'm probably one of the most wasteful people with sandpaper, I think, just because I'm paranoid about little bits getting stuck in the sandpaper. Not so much with like 80, 120, but certainly with 240 and 320. I don't like the risk of scratching the surface harsher than the grit you're using with stuff stuck to the sandpaper, which can be quite common with fiberglass. So I throw a lot of it out. Yeah, so probably not DMAC, but only because I wouldn't be the right guy to talk to, basically. Which is what I'll start this off with. So I wouldn't be the right guy to talk to. Sounds like a pretty good day. Better than my day looking after aircon units. I'm good, thanks. Aircon units, is that what you do, Sam? Air conditioning. I have a guy next to my shaping bay is a fella who does air conditioning as well. And he's a very busy man, especially this time of year. It's getting real hot here right now. I wouldn't be the right guy to talk to because I'm very wasteful with my sandpaper. A few tips though. Air compressor helps clean out sandpaper quite well to extend its use. New keyboard is very difficult to type on. I'm kind of used to the laptop keyboard, you know, all the keys are flat, whereas this one's, they're all three-dimensional and bumpy. To extend its use, that and sanding something smooth like an offcut of timber help clean it up too. Sam, I'm going to skip that one, Sam, because it's a members only thing. But I did read it. I actually the keyboard is silent. Man, I've got this crazy thing. So the buddy Rory came round today. I'm trading him a surfboard for a new computer, and so he brought the computer. And I'm not a techie guy at all, but he brought the computer, and we were setting OBS up and all the stuff I used to do this, and he gave me this thing, which is, it's a free thing, but now I'm not on Mac, I'm on PC. I could get NVIDIA Broadcast, and so it has this noise removal feature. And dude, to test it, he just had me talking to the mic like I am now, and he just started clapping his hands like right here next to my mouth. Clap, 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 really loud. And the audio comes back with nothing. I could try it now, even if I just keep talking and I'm smacking my hands and clapping really loud. Tell me if you can hear that or not. It's pretty amazing. And then it does all this crazy background stuff as well. So it's the same program using AI. Um, Hold on, where do I go? I go over here and I can go to camera, and then I can do like a background blur and a background replacement, so I could put a photo there, so I could be sitting in the shaping bay right now, you know, or out at Pipeline. Actually, that'd be cool. I could have the Surfline cam playing behind me, maybe. I don't know if it does video or just oh yeah, video. Look at that. That'd be cool. Background removal, which is what we're on. Video noise removal. Oh, and the other one too, which is weird, is this eye contact one. So the AI makes my eyes. I'm going to look over there. I'm now looking over there. But see my eyes move? I'm not moving them. That program, the AI, is moving them for me. I'm not moving my eyes at all, I promise you. Super weird. So it's kind of designed so I'm not breaking eye contact with you. But I don't like it. Oh, and then this vignette as well. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's um, I was blown away. How did I do that? Like that. There we go. That's what we're sticking with for now. But I think maybe the like Surfline playing in the background would be cool. Creepy, yeah. Yeah, I don't like it. I'm not into it. I don't like that computers can move my eyeballs without my permission. Yeah. So sorry, Sam. I'll skip that comment. Just because it won't make sense to anybody else who's not a member, but I did read it, and I actually filmed a video with me answering that question. I filmed today or yesterday's members video, yesterday's one, like 5 times, and then I never got around to editing it and uploading it. So it was in one of those 5 takes. But I appreciate the message, and I won't put myself out with the care packages, but I'm pretty excited to get them out. I went to post one today and got to the post office and forgot my diary, which had the addresses written in them. David, great video. Can you make a video of how to explain, of how you properly dry out a board before repairing it? So I'm pretty sure David wrote this comment on the video, the weekly series, before um, the video that kind of talked about drying surfboards properly. I think the newest video in this series touches base on that. I've seen a few methods. Probably the best is a hose with a sealed attachment. No, attachment. To the ding. Ding, Jesus. Connected to a pump, which sucks the water out. Me, I like to use time and gravity and not fret about it. When it's dry, it's dry. That's my motto. Sam, that's mad that people, as you say, use your place for storage. That sucks. It really does, man. Hope this is sorted now. I wonder if it'd be worth saying on the sign you will refuse any work in the future as well. Yeah, I think every business reserves the right to refuse work. I have two customers. Well, they're not customers anymore, but I have two people on my blacklist who I will never take their boards again. Only two in like 7 years or something, which is 6 or 7 years, which is not bad. One was just a royal pain in the ass who would be at my workshop before I even opened to check if the board was there and ringing like 2, 3 times a day to make sure if it's all right. And then it turned into a whole thing where he complained about the ding and went to the shaper who made the board and had a big bitch and moan about me and my work. And yeah, so blacklisted. And the other one was just a guy that didn't pick his board up for such a long time. And then he was the one I got to the point where I was like, all right, I'm selling it. Like, because you're not coming to pick it up. And his only excuse for not coming to pick it up was he didn't have a car and he was on a push bike. But he dropped the board off in a car, but he didn't have a car to come and pick it up. So I told him, look, man, I've got to sell it because you haven't paid for it and you're not picking it up. And it had been a long time. And as soon as I said that, he came real quick, but he kicked up quite a stink about it. But yeah, I don't really have any others that I wouldn't take their work on. Even the most pain in the ass customers I've had since then, I still take their work. Switching from Mac to PC is like trying to give a cat a bath, right? It's even I was doing a bunch of test recordings with this, trying to set it all up, and then I was trying to delete them out of the folder, and I couldn't. I didn't know how to delete things, like send them to trash. It took me ages to work it out, and especially the new computer looks like a speaker. It's all black and it's got like mesh around the side, and it's got a glass panel on the front even, so you can see in the computer. And the last computer I owned, like a PC desktop, was like one of those big grey things, you know. I think it had two CD-ROMs in it, a floppy disk hole. Maybe one of the CD-ROM drives was like a burner, like you could burn CDs on it, and then like a big grey screen, you know, that stuck out that far from the wall. So this thing is wild. It looks like a decoration my girlfriend would buy to like put on the shelf and give a nice glowing ambiance to the living room or something. So nice to see integrity and workmanship. Many thanks, Sam. Nice to see a steady flow of work coming in. Yes, it is. Holy moly, after an incredibly painful winter, man, it's unreal to have work in the shed again and money in the bank again and to get bills and just be able to pay them just like that. Yeah, it is really nice and it's only picking up from here. So it's good. Hopefully, I don't have to do another winter like that for a very, very, very long time because that was a hard one. Great vid, nice finish. Man, these are easy ones. We're gonna fly through it tonight. I like your red rocket. Thank you so much for all the tips. They're like gold for me. My pleasure. Thank you. Oh, you know, the only thing I can't do with this is oh, I have to work out how to do emojis on a whatever this is, PC. Maybe I comment too much. I'll give you so I haven't live streamed in well over a week. It's almost the oldest comment's 10 days. So go easy on yourself there, Sam. And a lot of these comments too that you're putting are on the members' videos as well. So they're kind of for you, you know. Where are we? Taranaki Frother, legend. Another gem, vid old son. I'm a small business owner. Have you considered charging a $50 deposit? May keep you ahead of the game until the sloths cough up. Someone else suggested that too. And there's a pro and a con. The pro is you get your money in, which means at least you got something to eat with, you know. The con is I feel like you still end up chasing this customer or these customers for the rest of the money and to pick their board up. And half of the pain in the ass is when you've got 10 people who owe you money and have to pick their board up, and you repeatedly have to message them over and over and over again to chase them up. If you spend 5 minutes on a text message to each one of these people, finding their job sheet, finding their phone number, checking the bank account to make sure they haven't paid yet, then sending the message to them, and then answering it again or checking the answer if they reply. If that's 5 minutes, let's say, per person, it's a lot of time wasted if there's like 10 of them, you know? So the deposit is something I've thought about, but I like the idea down here where you just say, look, you get 5% off if you pay within 7 days, which is a reasonable amount of time, I think. But then you just add 5% to the total price. So if they pay on time, well, they just end up paying what you would have charged anyway. I'm hoping, guys, that you can't hear my blinds slapping the windowsill here. With this new AI technology in my microphone, you shouldn't be able to. But yeah, let me know. I've thought of that method. Wondered if I would still end up wasting time chasing them down for the rest of the money after the job is finished anyway. Another guy suggested a 5% discount if you pay within 7 days, but you just add 5% to the real price. That way, there is kind of a penalty for late payments. Might sample that tactic. Nothing, man, just voice. Unreal. And you didn't hear me when I was clapping either. You can't hear any of that. Dude, this AI stuff is blowing my mind. Surfrek, thanks. Enjoyed the week-long series. I have a sneaky feeling you may be sponsoring guy number 3, the sup rider who only goes left. I'm definitely not sponsoring that man. It has been suggested before, though, that I give him a cut of the repair prices, but no, I would not be sponsoring him and his malarkey out there. That's not right. First to suggest that. We got one more video for the series to go, guys. Glad you are enjoying the series. One more to go. So we started on Monday. Nothing. That's crazy. It's crazy. We started the series on Monday. We've just done Saturday and Sunday. That was that video there. So we're going to go back to Monday. I've got a Monday video, and then I actually continued filming for maybe till like Wednesday or Thursday, but I'll put that in the same video just to finish off the jobs that were already in the series, so at least we see the end of the jobs we've started. So that video I haven't even started yet. I don't remember what I filmed. I don't remember the boards or anything. But yeah, we'll keep that rolling. And then I've got one video fully filmed, ready to edit. I think it was a repair on a modern love child, which lost quite a large amount of its tail from memory. It was quite a while ago now. And I'm working on a Jim Z fish right now. All the members know this already. But I'm filming the Jim Z process as well because it's a really tricky paint job, which it's more not so much about the color. The color is kind of fine, but it's the texture of the paint on the blank, which is just kind of impossible to match unless you're painting on foam. So I thought it was an interesting job to look at because it's quite a interesting paint job. So yeah, a bit on the way. After this series, we'll be back to normal of just sort of one board per video, before and after type of stuff. Love the candidness, love the content. Keep telling it like it is. A plus, 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 plus. That's a lot of pluses. That was the positive video. Telling it like it is. Ding Dang. I know Ding Dang. Surfboard repair. I did read this comment. Is this a busy week? A normal week? I'm in Cocoa Beach, Florida. I am only a one-man band and can only do so much. I try not to take in any orders over a week's work. Excuse me. I get calls all week, but I'm limited to what I can do. I can bust out polyboards, but epoxy clogs the wheels. Yeah, it does. I like how you have a process. It helps. Love your work. Keep it up. Mm. So this series was a very quiet week because I had a record quiet winter to start with, but also this was the first week I was back after my what two and a bit weeks in Australia. So I think I had maybe two or three of those jobs were waiting for me when I got back. The customers knew that I was going away, but I just held on to the board in the workshop. And then during this week, more work was just kind of slowly trickling in, And then there was there was a yellow board at the end of this video where I said uh, they dropped it off for repair, but now they're coming to pick it up because they don't want it anymore. So they were going to, I think it was like a 15-year-old girl who had never surfed before, and her uncle said, well, take this board, get it fixed, and learn to surf on this. So they brought the board in for repair, but then she decided she didn't want that board. She wanted like a big soft top or something. So that board actually came in and then got taken out, which was pretty gutting. Also gutting because they set a leash aside for it too. So when they picked up the repair, they were also going to buy a leash, but of course they didn't want the leash then either. So no, this was a very quiet week in a very quiet winter and right after a holiday. That sneeze barely came through. AI is gnarly. That's unreal. I don't know how it does it. That's good though, that I can cough and huck into the microphone and you guys won't be too disgusted by it. Ding Dang. I can't remember. Oh, he just said Florida. That's right. Yes. I know Ding Dang from that name though. My God. There's a fish and chip shop here in town it's called Stingray mats, and um, Stingray is like the animal of Mungafai. It's in the name Mungafai. We're like the harbour of stingrays. And my buddies, when I started Small Kind Ding Repairs, they really wanted me to call it Dingray Dan's. That was going to be the name, Dingray Dan's Surfboard Repair. But I don't know. It's good. It's catchy. Makes me laugh. G'day, mate. This was a very quiet week. A record quiet winter to begin with, and this was also my first week back from 2-ish weeks in Australia. Few of the boards were already in the shop waiting for me when I got back. Rest just trickled in slowly. Series was filmed. When was it filmed? Wow. I think it was filmed like end of July. End of July? Or was I there in August, September, October, maybe August? A while ago, anyway. Maybe August. What else did he say? I get calls a week. Yeah, so that's the other thing too. So I used to do this thing where, because I got limited space in my workshop, like Ding Dang here, I'm a one-man band. There's only so much I can do. So what I would do is fill the racks, and then I would basically close. I would announce on Instagram and Facebook, I'm not taking any more boards in for the next week to 2 weeks, 10 to 14 days, my turnaround, so I can get some boards out, and then there'll be room to get more boards in. But it, I've realised a couple of years ago, maybe even last year, it's not worth closing. There's always room for boards. Boards are money, basically, their income. And so, quite often, especially in summer when people are on holidays and it's sunny and all the rest, um, if you say you're closed and not taking boards in anymore, people will then drive 45 minutes to an hour to go to the next ding repairer. And that's a shame for me because that ding repairer might do really good work and they might become a loyal customer of that ding repairer because they never got to meet me and see my amazing work. So now I continue to take boards in even if I'm totally snowed under and all the racks are bursting at the seams, even if I have to take boards home and put them in the shed here until some space clears at work. And I just tell the customers, look, I'm absolutely swamped, so I can take it in, but instead of the turnaround being 10 to 14 days, it's maybe closer to 20 days now. Because I think it's at a point, especially when you live in a place like this where it's really seasonal, you make hay while the sun's shining, yeah. So if you're swimming in work and there's not enough room for boards, well, good, just keep taking them in. So having that system of polys all day, epoxies and foam in the evening, and just keeping that turning over, it it definitely helps. So take in more than you can do would be my suggestion. And the other thing too is so often, like during winter, a normal winter, I think, oh wow, it's winter and at my capacity. But it's not until summer you really realize how much you're actually capable of churning out when you're not finishing at 6 o'clock and going for a swim. Maybe you have to finish at 9 o'clock some nights, but you can churn out a lot of work. As far as one man band goes, I used to stop taking in more jobs when my racks were full. normally for a week or so. And I stopped doing that a while back. Customer. If the customer is happy to wait that little bit extra, I'm happy to have more work than I think I can handle. More often than not, you can handle it. When total mental blank. I was going to write something about. Oh, that's when it comes to the crunch. It depends, though. Like if you live in a place like Cocoa Beach, um, maybe it's not so seasonal there. So maybe you can just say, look, I only need, I don't know, 10 boards a week and I'm good. So once I get to the 11th board, I say, hey, come back next week and bring it then. And yeah, the seasonality of this place is definitely a key thing for all businesses around here, not just me, definitely for everyone from the bakery to the supermarket to the hardware store to the tire shop to me. Is this all? Yes. Hot wire RTX. Why doesn't anyone use microfiber on repairs except for me, who ain't a pro? So this comment tripped me out. I did read this comment. So the only microfiber I know of is microfiber cloths, which I use after I polish. And I don't think he's talking about that, considering this is on a video about sanding. So sanding with microfiber cloths would take quite a while. So I googled microfiber, and the only thing I could really come up with, I'll show you, microfiber sanding discs was kind of these spongy suckers. So I don't know if he's talking about them. It's not them. It's not. Or maybe no. It's neither of them. But these ones are kind of thick, and then these are all spongy as well. So I don't know if he's talking about them or not. Um, oh, where are we? There. So yeah, I'm not 100%. If you know what microfiber is in the chat, let me know, because I'm not 100% sure what he's talking about. Maybe we call it something different here. Use microfiber cloths, but they'd take a while to sand a board with. That's when you need the emoji, the laughing face, but I don't know how to do the emojis on. Oh, wait, can I? Does that still work? Like back in the MSN days? No, it doesn't. Damn it. Damn it. Sam, I know it's not, but I feel like a pirate hat suits your look. That white board with what looks like the Kraken on the bottom looks sick. Which one was that? I'm surprised your weekly series didn't do too well. I've really liked it. Sorry for the long comment. That wasn't that long. You've left longer comments, Sam. Is he talking about chop cloth, like Nico fiber glass strands? Oh, like chop strands, maybe. Oh, he might be. Um, I never heard it called um microfiber Fiberglass. All right, we might be onto something. Oops. One word apparently. Um, Fiberglass cloth. Maybe it doesn't come up with chop strand. Maybe that could be. You could be onto something there though. Maybe. Hopefully it gets back to me and I find out, because I might be missing out on something here. What was the board with the Kraken on the bottom of it? Where was that? This is a members only video, guys, so you get the sneak peek. What are you talking about here? Oh yeah, sending stuff, that's right. What board with the Kraken on the bottom, Sam? I don't remember such a board. Oh, sorry, yes, I'm with you. I see it now. It's in the rack, just there, yeah? That one. That's hand drawn with like a permanent marker. The customer drew it on, so I think it's a. I'm gonna get in trouble now for not knowing what it's called. Oh, it's a native Maori thing. All of their wooden carvings are that guy. I'll think of the name and we'll have a look at a photo of it. You've left longer made me laugh. Seemed long when I was writing it. Like sun cure but homemade. What's sun cure resin? Where were we? Can't even remember where we were. Way down. Oh, it's taking us back to the top. That's Sam. Let's see, that's Sam. The board with the Kraken. Yes, it was a Mel from Maui. It was a cool board. The drawing was okay, but it was done in a Sharpie. But it was a nice board. I'm surprised your weekly series didn't do too well. Yeah, it didn't do that well, really. View wise, yeah, it did. I think the most views, the first two or three maybe got up to 1,000. The last couple, two or three maybe, have there are like 600 to 800, I think, somewhere in there view wise. So yeah, they haven't done that well. But like I said in that video, I think people are just after that before and after effect, which in this series hasn't been highlighted. So that's alright. You live and you learn. You live and you learn. Hotwire, again, this guy, like I said at the beginning, he binge watched my videos this week. I think this whole series he went through, which is cool. All small service industry businesses have these problems. Take a deposit and the customer feels a commitment. I think I'll just start offering a 5% discount if you pay on time and adding 5% to my usual final cost. That for a bit. For it. For a bit. Could have painted around that plug with black. Oh, that was that blue board. But time was of the essence, so the original plug was bigger than the one I put in, which meant the hole in the board was bigger than my plug, and the original hole of the board wasn't quite centered, it was a little bit off. So when my plug was centered with the stringer, the border of blue resin I put in was just not perfectly around the plug. So he's right, I could have painted around that plug with black, but that person wanted their board back. They were on the last 3 days of school holidays, I think, and so they obviously wanted to surf, but they pulled the pin out of their leash plug. So they just wanted the board back absolutely ASAP. I only really added the blue resin for a little bit of show. But yeah, they weren't fussy at all. They just wanted to surf. I did tell them when they dropped it off, just surf without a leash. You'll be right. But they weren't that keen. Last days school holidays though, desperate to surf, so they just wanted the board back ASAP. Seth Tinsley. We haven't spoken much, but Seth is, I think, the newest member of the channel, possibly. Just wanted to say how much I've enjoyed the week-long series and how much I've learned from it. Awesome to see your processes over a longer period of time. Nice one. It's definitely, I've had good feedback from the series from the comparatively small amount of people that have watched it, so it's worth it in the end. It's definitely helped some people, I think, to see that, like Seth said, that process over the longer period. So that's a good thing. EPS sucks water. Hot wire. I'm not very versed in this business, but wouldn't it be better to cut the excess PU foam with a small saw? Um, I don't know why people are so concerned about what I cut my foam with or don't cut my foam with. So this is that clip from the live stream where um, someone was having a whinge in the comments. Oh, it was a shorts comment because I sanded my foam down instead of cutting it with a blade. Um, oh well. If I mean, if he wants to cut it with a blade, he can cut it with a blade. If Hotwire here thinks he wants to cut it with a small saw, he can cut it with a small saw. I mean, you could cut it with a screwdriver. It's just foam. That's why I just sand it because I'm gonna have the sander in my hand anyway. So, and it's just foam. So I just sand it. So yeah, I mean, you could use a butter knife from your kitchen, whatever you want. Maybe I'll do a video on just cutting foam with random implements, screwdrivers, butter knives, scissors. I could try some scissors. Fiberglass shears are pretty long. Try them. Generally, though, I just sand it. Maybe a hot one. Yeah, I just break out the whole, make a hot wire first. And then every time I got to cut off a little bit of foam from above a fin box replacement, I just hot wire through it. It would be very satisfying. I'll give it that. Classic. Yeah, it's such a weird thing for people to get hung up on. I'm sure there's other things I do, like this board, I painted like a third of the board, but nobody got hung up on the fact that I painted a third of this customer's board. But people hate the way I don't cut foam. And when I do cut it, they hate the way I cut it. Simon Anderson likely not impressed with the label. However, Craig likely doesn't care. Huh. So I'm guessing um, this was there's a shaper in New Zealand called Pete Anderson, and this was one of his boards that we fixed. And I told the story how Pete Anderson in New Zealand, he's kind of a small kind rep for FCS. So if I'm really in a pickle and I need an FCS box, sometimes I'll ring him, especially Fusions, because he's the only one in the country that has Fusion fin boxes. But so many times I have emailed, I've just Googled Anderson surfboards, and then I've gotten their website contact, emailed them asking for more Fusion boxes, and then realized when I never hear back from Pete that, oh fuck, I've emailed Anderson surfboards in California, I think they are. So then I have to find the details for the real Pete Anderson. I have his phone number now, so that's much easier. So I'm guessing Simon Anderson and Craig Anderson own Anderson surfboards in California. That's my guess. Deployed. Replied. Yep, throw it away. It's junk. I like your passion for this old, long log, I guess, but I would never want one. That was the restoration. Don't know if it's junk. I don't rate them as surfers personally, but I quite like them. Um, yeah, there you go. People definitely like them though. I have one customer who the only boards he owns are these really old logs, and he lives in a like a I think he said it was a two-bedroom apartment, and his apartment is full of these like big 10-foot mouths from the 70s kind of era. And he has to store them outside now, so he keeps all the worse ones outside, and he keeps all the restored ones and the ones he surfs in his apartment because he just rents an apartment. I told him to rent a house instead with a shed, so he's going to look into that, I think. MJ, Kiwi it up. Check your email. I got your email, MJ. If you happen to watch this, I did get it. I was busy setting up a new computer, but I will reply to you tomorrow. And yes, good suggestions. So for the other members, MJ was like, "Oh, well, why wouldn't I make payment through like PayPal or something, not YouTube?" I don't know why I didn't think of that. I have PayPal, so we might explore that option. So that's the thing. And the last comment. Oh, we're at the top already. We flew through them. From Hotwire once again. I did read this one because this one is only an hour ago, so when I was getting ready to be here to stream, this comment came through. And he wrote, "Nah, you're wrong. Sailboard fins that experience much greater stress than surfboard fins are rigidly attached to the deck. This is why those FCS plugs break away from the glass on the bottom of the board. It's because the plugs twist in the foam. It's all about leverage." So I had no idea what was going on in this comment. So I had to go back to the video, which is here. And basically, we were answering the question, or not the question so much, but the comment from, who's it? Greg. Greg here, who said that expanding foam was a total waste of time. Expanded foam of the time of that type is heavy and has a brownish hue. Nothing wrong with using micro balloons for the whole fill. I've cast huge pieces out of balloon mixers before, very light, stupidly strong, and then we kind of prove the fact that actually the foam is lighter than the micro balloons he's using, without a shadow of a doubt. I think it was over half the weight. or sorry, less than half the weight rather. And it's not, resin isn't that strong without fiberglass. It's very hard, but it's very brittle and fragile. And the brownish hue, we kind of showed in this video that it wasn't an issue. We fixed this white board, very white board, with the foam, with the brownish hue, and we ended up with that, basically. That was the repair in there. So, the only other thing we discussed... Why did we discuss FCS plugs? Oh, we discussed FCS plugs because it's very common, I think. I'm imagining we discussed them because it's very common for me to get repairs in of these plugs that are caused by people filling the hole in the board with this. But I honestly don't remember. So we might actually just watch it because this has happened pretty quick. So we might just watch this first part of this video till there and see what this guy's talking about. Total waste of time. Expanded foam of the time of that type is heavy and has a brownish hue. Nothing wrong with using micro balloons for the whole fill. I've cast huge pieces out of balloon mixers before. Very light, stupidly strong. So let's examine Uncle Greg's statement here and see what conclusion we come Hopefully
to.
you guys can
Your
hear it
first
alright.
claim is
Let
that
me
this
know
foam
if
is
you can't.
heavy, so I can only imagine when you say that you mean that it's heavier than micro balloons and Q-cell. So should we put that to the test? So in my right hand we have 30 mils of micro balloons and resin, and in my left hand we have well over 30 mil of 56 kg 2-part expanding poly foam. This is probably closer to 100 mil, but because I'm so confident, we're gonna test these two against one another weight-wise. So that is our PU foam, roughly 100 mils, but let's call it 30 mils. 8 grams, 19 grams for our 30 mils of micro balloons and resin. Now, on the subject of strength between the two of these, we know that this one is heavier and denser, this one is lighter and not as dense. But that doesn't mean to say this foam is weak by any stretch of the imagination. It is incredibly strong for foam. I can't even put, or I can just put a thumbprint inside that foam. It is very strong, but being 56 kgs, it's about as strong as the blank that our surfboard was made out of started at. So we're matching densities, we're matching strength of material. This is much, much harder than this. So when you combine the two together inside a board and they're pushing against one another really hard, it's going to end up cavitating, breaking, fracturing its surrounding
Cavitating.
foam.
I'm sure that's not the
Now,
right
I'm certainly
word.
not the only person to be aware of this, and I certainly can't take credit for coming up with this train of thought. And I can show you that when it comes to installing FCS1 fin plugs. By the FCS1 installation guide, the way these plugs are meant to be installed is as follows. So we have our surfboard here, and let's say this top side, that's the bottom of the board where the fin's going to be, and this is our deck side down here. So to start this installation off, we take our FCS hole saw and we route our hole for our plug. We're then going to scoop out that little piece of foam in the middle.
I think I know what this guy's saying now.
So now we have our hole routed for our plug, and our plug is going to sit in the board like that. Look, I routed it at the perfect depth there, to precision. So you would think after that it's just a case of installing the plug, that's the end of it, but no, FCS know that that's probably not going to be ideal in the long run, so they also provide us with one of these. This is called a scribe tool. So after we've drilled this hole or routed this hole in the board, what we're then going to do is we're going to take the end of this, put it in our hole, and we're slowly going to work our way down.
Tedious, that job.
Hopefully not going through the deck side of the board, but you get the idea. What we've essentially done is make a small groove or circle that will allow the resin holding our plug in to trace its way down to the fiberglass on the deck side of the board. Just a really thin amount. They call this the H pattern. Now there's a reason FCS don't want you to do this. They could easily have us tie this plug to the deck side of the board with a big ball of resin and micro balloons, but they don't. Why? Because they know if we were to fill this entire void with a big hard ball of resin and micro balloons, not only is it heavier than the foam we just took out of the blank, it's also going to be a giant hard ball pushing up against foam. If this were going to be resin and micro balloons, and we were going to fill this hole with resin and micro balloons with our plug in the top like that, as this plug moves and flexes with the fin, and as the board moves and flexes as it surfs, this giant ball of resin and micro balloons has no flexibility in it at all. It is incredibly hard. So the foam surrounding it is going to be moving and flexing. And because this micro balloon and resin block is so hard, it's slowly going to wear away at the hole. And eventually the whole thing is going to become loose because the hole will just get bigger and bigger and bigger. Remember, these plugs aren't glassed over. So the only thing holding it in is the resin inside. So if that resin just works its way out as this board flexes, it makes the hole bigger and bigger. If it
so note that the plug doesn't have any contact with the foam at all.
Going to come with it. And that's why they have us do the H pattern with a really thin wall of micro balloons and resin. It's not going to add a lot of weight because there's not much resin traveling to the deck of the board. It's not going to be really hard and solid and breaking the foam surrounding it. So that's why we install FCS plugs this way.
So we've established that micro balloon. So, yeah, now I kind of get what this guy's saying. No, you're wrong. Sailboard fins that experience much greater stress than surfboard fins are rigidly attached to the deck. This is why those FCS plugs break away from the glass on the bottom of the board. It's because the plugs twist in the foam. So this comment doesn't fully make sense because I don't understand. This is why those FCS plugs break away. What? Why? What is this? I don't get it. But also, even if I did get it, the plugs don't have any contact with the foam. Between the FCS plug and the foam is resin, and below the plug is resin as well. So they're not twisting out of the foam, or the plug isn't twisting out of the foam or breaking out of the foam because the plug has no contact with the foam. It's the resin that is breaking the foam, essentially. So I don't fully understand. He's right when he says it's all about leverage. So something like these plugs, for instance, the FCS plugs in EPS, they don't do well at all because the foam is so soft, and especially the worst combination you could possibly have is, say, a fish with FCS1 plugs with big keels in them, because the leverage of those big keel fins in that soft foam, the resin surrounding that plug is just constantly pushing against that foam. So I don't fully understand what Hotwire is trying to say here. I don't even know if I know quite know. The plugs don't make any contact with the foam in the board. Yeah, completely surrounded with the resin. If anything is twisting out of the foam, it's the resin, not the plugs. So I actually see this a lot. So what a lot of repairers do is you get a board in and those plugs have fallen out or the fin's broken or whatever. So you're left with two holes in the board. And the holes are always going to be bigger than the original plug because all the resin comes out with it and everything and it breaks it away. So you're left with kind of a bigger hole. And a lot of repairers, instead of putting new foam in the board, they will just fill that now bigger hole, kind of messy hole, with resin, micro balloons, sink a plug in there. And then eventually that resin micro balloon mix will damage the foam and that plug will fail again, and now you're left with a bigger hole, and the next repairer will come and fill it with resin and micro balloons and sink a plug in it, and then eventually that will fail and the next repairer will fill it. And so it's not uncommon to get boards in where when you remove a plug or when the plug falls out, the hole is enormous. I mean, it should only be kind of that big, to get an FCS1 plug in, but some of them are like that. And the ball of resin at the bottom of the plug is almost like a cricket ball. It's enormous. And so it's just a really hard material to be rubbing on foam all the time. This is a tricky one. Obnoxiously large amounts of resin. So the plugs don't make any contact with the foam within the board. They're completely surrounded with resin. If anything is twisting out of the foam, quote unquote, it's the resin, not the plugs. I see it all the time in FCS plugs that have been repaired and have obnoxiously large amounts of resin beneath and beside the plug. After multiple shoddy attempts at repair slash replacement with nothing but resin and microballoons. Also, these plugs as the video shows are supposed to be tied to the deck as well. In all fairness, a lot of people don't. I would say the vast majority, maybe 90% of boards that come through for plug replacements, the FCS plugs aren't attached to the deck of the board. Shapers just don't seem to do it. I didn't reply to your comment about my hat, Sam. So it's funny you say that because this is my new favourite lead head hat for sale at all Shapers Collectives near you. So this is called the Serious Brim Job, yeah? It's a good hat. Keeps the sun off. It's good for surfing because it's it's got this, I'll try and show you. On the back here, where are we? There. It's got this elastic, you see? Oh, my cam's going to mess out. So not only does it have a chin strap to tighten it to your chin, here I'll do it this way, but it also has this elastic so you can actually tighten the cap part to your head as well. So it's a really good hat for surfing because you can duck dive with it. You don't lose your hat off the back of your head and get choked by your chin strap when you're duck diving. So I've been wearing it a lot. It's very comfortable. I kind of forget I have it on. I think I prefer it to the cap. I've even been skating in it quite a lot. But when I wear earmuffs at work, obviously it's not ideal for earmuffs. So I've been rocking the, as you call it, the pirate hat look, which is just the chin strap on the head, tighten it up, and you kind of get both the floppy sides, yeah, like that. And that way you can get your earmuffs on and still wear the hat. Makes sense. But yeah, I'm kind of into the look. And then I was watching a thing last night, which was, I don't know what they call it, but basically they get an expert on something to answer questions left on Twitter about whatever the chosen subject is. So this happened to be an expert in the field of pirates and piracy, and people on Twitter are asking about what's up with pirates. Like, why do they have that accent? That type of thing. Why do they have parrots on their shoulders? All that kind of stuff. And he was giving sort of the best accurate historical answers he could based on his knowledge, historical knowledge of pirates. But he drew attention to and had on the desk in front of him while answering these questions the classic leather pirate hat, you know, but it's got like the three folds, so like the back is, my camera hates that, but the back's kind of folded up as well. And looking at that hat while watching this video, I thought, man, I wish those hats would come back into style, because they are very cool and they keep the sun off and they're super comfortable and you can barely see it in your peripherals, but it's still there. You can keep stuff in there as well, like little pockets on your head. So yeah, I'm glad you noticed the pirate hat look, and I'm kind of sticking with it because now I go out and I'm not at work and I'm not wearing earmuffs, but I'm kind of keeping the pirate look alive, which might change once I get around to shaving, cutting my hair again. Yeah, I might not be able to pull it off anymore. So yeah, and other than that, Sam, we're just left with your comments here, but I've replied to them to you. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to heart them all like that. And then I'm going to refresh the page like that. And we've responded to every comment from the last 10 days. So that's it, guys. I'm going to go to bed because it's 2 o'clock in the morning. But we'll see you on Monday. Members, will see you before that. I'm painting a clubby board at the moment, so I'm filming that, and I'll do a little video just for you guys out of it. And then we'll see you on Monday for the last video of the weekly series. So I hope you're well. Have a good day wherever you are, or evening wherever you are, and we will see you on Monday. Have a good one, guys. Again, have to work out every week, how do I stop streaming?